Big game, obviously, in Austin.
It'll be a good test. Bad blood between those two.
Yeah, bad blood between mascots.
They should let them scrap in the middle of the field.
I don't think that would turn out good for Oga. The matchup would be like me and you in a board drill. I think me and you should switch spots for a practice.
I would do it. I would embrace it.
I can't say on mic what I refer to it as. Use your imagination.
They texted me and said, hey, we need to get some film.
Hey, you're going to Georgia?
Georgia's interested. And I was like, oh, shit, all right. I'd never been on a football ground until I got here.
Welcome to Mullets on the Mic podcast, powered by AgAmerica Media. I'm Tate Ratliff, joined with Brett Thorson. Today we've talked about the Mississippi State game. Brett had a pretty good blind draft for me, I'd say. We're going to go over the Mullet Mailbag questions and preview the Texas game. New Mullets on the Mic podcast drop weekly on YouTube and wherever you get your audio podcast. Let's get into it.
To start off the day, how about we jump into Damn Good Dawg?
Mine's probably being back in person, honestly. We haven't been. When was the last time we did a podcast in person?
It was before Australia, so
That was a big time frame for you.
May. Yeah, I left.
Yeah, so we did one in May.
Yeah.
Now you're here in this interesting jacket you've got on.
You don't like the sweater?
I love it. It looks great on you. Really compliments your eyes.
Thank you. Well, yeah, I was going for the complimentary pairing there. So I'm glad it works out. Obviously, starting to get cooler weather, so I can break them out. These are all Australian sweaters, so.
When are you going to get me one?
Do you want one?
I do.
I actually think, I don't know, if I went on Australian Billabong, they might not have your size.
Australia what?
Australian Billabong. Like, it is Billabong.
What's this? What's that second word you're saying?
Or Rip Curl. I think it's
Billabong?
Yeah, Billabong. That's the brand. Or Rip Curl. Oh, now you got me second guessing. I think it's Billabong. That's an Australian surf brand. Is that the...
It's an interesting choice to go surfing in.
Well, it's for after surfing when you're cold. You warm up real quick.
Do you
it's
surf?
fleece. No, I'm too heavy. The buoyancy math doesn't work with me in a
You
surfboard.
just need a bigger board.
It's not really surfing.
I've been
Then
up on
you're
a wakeboard.
Longboarding.
I've been up on a wakeboard. Why can't you get up on a surfboard?
Because I'm fat.
Before you got fat, did you surf?
Not really. We were about 30 minutes from the beach. Most of the surfing people live pretty much on the water, so they can just walk down whenever the swell's good. They'll wake up in the morning and go. As for Mum, probably wasn't too keen on the idea of having to wake up at 5 a.m. to go surf before school and then drive us back. She was never doing that. So
I thought school was like y'all's last priority in Australia.
top priority. Do you not see me how academic I am over here?
I haven't.
What is
How
that?
academic are you?
Super academic weapon.
That was Chad's spot.
That's
That's what Chad claimed. That was in his bio for the longest time, was academic weapon at the University of Georgia football, at UGA football.
Team GPA enhancer. Is that what we call those?
I wish I could do that.
Yeah, I'll drag it down. I think I don't. It's not bad, but my idea on a grading is different to an American grading system. I remember when I first got here, I was like, I think I got a 78 on a English paper. It was like the best grade I'd ever got on an English paper. I was stoked.
So what is it in Australia?
When I went to college in Australia, 80 to 100 was a high distinction, which is worth 4 on a GPA.
Okay.
70 to 80 was a distinction, which is also worth 4, I think. And then a credit was 60 to 70. And then a pass was 50 to 60. So like everyone just wanted to pass. Like if you got 52 on an exam, you're stoked. You're like, nice.
So if you take a test and you got half the questions right, you were good.
I studied biomed, so those exams were cooked. So
I didn't know you did that.
Yeah, everyone was just relieved
What made
when
you
you
want to do
passed.
that?
I was hoping to relate it to sports, but that's like, I guess, a very minute field. It's kind of like, it's called osteopathy. It's pretty much like chiropractor.
Okay.
And I was hoping to transfer it into a sports setting where I could work with athletes and kind of travel the world and work in a bunch of different sports if I got good at it. But after about 1 year, I then looked into pro kick because I was like, I don't really know if this is what I want to do.
I've asked you this question before, but I don't really remember. How did you even get into the whole pro kick thing?
It was a bit of a throwaway conversation with Dad. It'd been in the news recently because of some, I guess, successful Australian football players. Their sons had done it, or his oldest son at the time had done it, and his youngest son joined at the same time I did. But there was an article in the AFL news and stuff like that about the oldest son joined Pro Kick and heading over to America because the oldest son was the same age as me. So I was around the time that I think he'd committed to a school, and that was an article or something. So Dad said, "Oh, did you see that?" I was like, "Oh, yeah," as if Mum would let me go. And he's like, "Oh, yeah." And then we talked a week later, and he was like, "Oh, did you look into it?" I was like, "Oh, he was serious." And he's like, "Oh, like, yeah." So I went on to the website and just filled out an expression of interest. You put in your height, your weight, and your age.
Did you lie about your weight?
I was skinny then. No, they said I was I fit the profile of a punter, and then...
You fit the profile of a punter?
Apparently not the typical American punter, but a potential to be a punter. So after that, I filled that out, and then they emailed and they said, come to a tryout. And went from there.
When you go through that whole process, you said you're basically like just sent to a school.
Pretty much.
Like your first time on campus was you were a student.
Yeah.
So you just got to see pictures online and kind of like watch YouTube videos?
Yeah. No, my knowledge of UGA come from Google Images.
That's insane because it's like we get to choose where we go. Like,
yeah.
No, that's... You're just kind of like, here's where you're going.
Yeah, and I got extremely lucky. Like you have no idea. Like timing-wise, in Pro Kick, it's funny how it all works out because it's not necessarily you are good enough to go here. If you're good enough, you will probably go to the next group of 4 in our school that comes up. There's like...
So did UGA like reach out to Pro Kick and was like, hey, we're looking for a punter?
Yep, because Jake was coming to the end. And Coach Hartley, who had worked at Miami, got an Australian there. So he already had contacts with the Australian coaches. So he went to them and they texted me and said, hey, we need to get some film.
Hey, you're going to Georgia?
Georgia's interested. And I was like, oh, shit, all right. Like, well, because I always thought Georgia was just very patriotic and they'd never had an Australian before. So they can always get a good punter from America. And they'd never had one before, so it wasn't like there was a pipeline. But technically there was a underground pipeline with the coach that had worked with someone. So that's the thing, everyone comes from a different
I didn't realize how many Australian punters are until we're like in the meeting and they're going over like their punt team's depth chart, and there's always a comment thrown out about them in Australia.
Yeah. No, we got a lot. The SEC, thankfully, is last year I think we had 11 or 12 of 14. It's changed a little now. Obviously, there's more teams coming in, and Oklahoma and Texas don't have one anymore. Texas had 3 guys back to back to back, but they don't have one anymore.
Have you known these guys before? Like, or is it like when we play them, is that your first time meeting them?
Some of them, yes. Some of them I train with. So the Kentucky guy, Wilson, I trained with him in COVID. He lived like 3 minutes away from me. So when we're in COVID, you could only travel within about 2K of your home. And he lived within 2K of me, so me and him would go to the local oval and punt together. But it was just us two because you couldn't have a big group training.
The local oval?
Yeah, local field, I guess. Yeah, we call it the oval. On like just this big open field, there was a rugby ground, so that was as close to we got as being on a football ground. But I'd never been on a football ground until I got here.
How many other positions are people from Australia playing in America right now? Like, are there many?
The odd O-lineman. There's the odd like tight end here and there. Sprinkled through college, and then we have a couple kickers as well.
Who on our team right now would be the best rugby player?
I've thought about this a lot.
I think my answer, not knowing anything about rugby, would be Chaz.
He would be solid.
Or like a linebacker, any linebacker.
Yeah, he'd be solid. He's not like he moves. I always think about it as position. I think someone like a Kenny Mack and Kendall Milton. I
could see Kendall, yeah.
Yeah, would have been really good if they had grown up playing that sport.
What about like Branson?
Branson would be really good, but he'd kind of fit like a certain positional type. As for the people like Kendall and Kenny, they could kind of swing 2 different positions, be a bit more versatile. And you'd be in the ruck, obviously.
Is that where they like...
It's like a tip-off.
Push each other?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like a scrum tip-off.
Yeah.
So it'd be like in basketball if you got to like hit someone before you went up to try and tip it off. That's literally what they do. They
just like drop the ball in the middle or like behind
it. They throw it up in the air, or they bounce it. Start the game, they'll bounce it.
What is it where they like drop the ball and everybody's like linked up and like on their...
That's a different sport. That's rugby. That's a scrum.
We're not talking about rugby?
We're talking about Australian football.
Oh.
You still don't know what Australian football is, do you?
No.
We'll watch it. We'll watch a game sometime. We'll put a game on in the background.
Invite me over and we'll watch one.
You can learn.
I'll bring the slab.
Bring a slab?
I'll bring a slab.
That sounds good. I do like that, though. Definitely good to be back in person.
Yeah, for sure. What would you say your damn good dog moment of the week is?
That? I'll join in. Yeah, you're as ugly as ever, so it's good to see you again.
I'm just going to see you recently cut your own hair. It looks like shit.
I know you're just making that up. That's a lie.
When are you going to, like, let it grow in the back?
Well, it's currently growing. That's the problem, though.
Because, like, the front, you look like you're a drill sergeant.
Yeah.
Like, just straight, flat on the top.
Number 7, just, like, straight, like, literally. And then after about 5 days, it kind of gets to being a bit more, like, go back. And then the back, I haven't touched for a few months now, so.
I think if you let the back, you want to know the trick?
What is
Start taking biotin pills and use mane and tail shampoo. That's the way to get it going. So with the hair of the dog, obviously played Mississippi State this past weekend. What were your opinions on that game?
I thought firstly the crowd was awesome. They responded quite well to Coach Smart's message earlier in the week. So
I'm still waiting for that Tennessee game 2022 environment, which I know like it'll probably come later on down the road. But I still remember that like it was yesterday. Like that was the loudest I've heard a crowd like constantly.
Yeah.
Like of course like there's crowd bursts at certain places. Like like last year at Tennessee when they hit that touchdown first play of the game. Like that crowd pop. Like when something big happens, like that was really loud. But like consistency wise, that 2022 Tennessee game, it was just like all game. I remember we're trying to do like sideline adjustments, and we like Coach Searles is like having to write on the board like what he's trying to say to us because we can't hear a thing.
That was cool. That game was sick. They're good. The Dog fans were good yesterday, so obviously good to get a win.
We had what 605 yards of total offense.
It's a lot of offense.
That was a lot of offense. We were explosive.
How many plays total were there? Because
I have no clue.
It felt like there was so many plays of football to our normal. I usually feel I warm up not maybe like 6 to 8 times a game. Depending on where we get the ball, but I felt like there was a lot of football.
The funniest part of this game was when you were catching a snap from Bo, and you did a little hop. You remember what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, I do.
You did a little hop on the sideline. It might have been the most unathletic thing I've ever seen. You might have gotten like 5 inches off the ground.
Yeah, I freeze up a little. I take a little to get going at this.
I came over there and sat with the boys, with the
specialists. You did. You come. We appreciate you didn't wreck the group, so it was good to have you over there. So, what were your thoughts? The O-line, obviously.
They played. I liked how they played.
Yep.
They played really hard. I thought. I watched the film today.
Yeah.
I thought they played really hard, in which I think that's the most important thing is you can fix technique and everything, but effort's like the one thing that's like you got to have. If like you know what I'm saying, like you can't coach effort. I think that's like a known thing across our program. But like if you don't have effort, then.
Last few weeks, I really feel like Trevor's kind of started cutting loose.
He's just gotten better and better. I'm waiting for him to just break one.
Yeah.
And it's coming. He's due for one. I love Trevor too. He's just like a vibrant personality.
He's awesome. Like I've never seen him in like flat or
never.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I think I ever met Trevor. I left a pair of boots in the locker room, and they were somehow over by Carson's locker. And Trevor, I walk in the locker room, and Trevor had them on and was just running around in them. And, of course, they're a size 15 boot, and he's not very big.
Yeah, he's all about 5'8".
But he's sitting there running around. But I love Trevor. I think he's a great kid.
Awesome dude. Great for the locker room.
100%. I feel like we have a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing I really like about our team is like everybody's a big like I like everybody on our team.
Yes.
Like there's nobody that I'm like I don't really like that guy. I like him.
Besides you, I feel the same with everyone on that team.
Yeah, except for those Australians. I'm not too fond of them.
No, that's why. Like, admittedly, I obviously see my knowledge of American football is nothing. So to come over into a team environment, I was like, there's no way like a whole locker room gets along. Everyone knows.
I feel like it's not that way
everywhere. I don't think so. But yeah, that's probably the best thing I've seen about our team is how well every single person in the room gets along.
Yeah.
So.
And it's been like that since I've been here, pretty much.
Yeah.
Let's say I get into it with somebody on the field, like at practice.
Yeah, you can.
Like it's over as soon as we get in the locker room. Like we leave it there.
That is you see, like, obviously, you guys have to smash the shit out of each other every single practice.
Fun stuff.
To then get in the locker room and sit beside them and be able to just.
I think me and you should switch spots for a practice.
One, I would do it. I would embrace it. Like
Until you had to like pull and kick out Chaz, and he
but like I would embrace it. I'd probably put on 2 pairs of pads and like.
Would you put on one of those
I'd put on like 3 Guardian caps. I'd like strap my core up and put a hole.
I was a punter back in high school, so I think I can make it through one of those practices. Those tough practices y'all have.
It's tough. I don't know. You got to really work hard at doing nothing. But I thought D-Bell was awesome as well.
Yeah.
He's
a playmaker.
Arian really went crazy.
Nate,
it was good to see.
Nate's like
Nate's so fun to watch.
Nate's like a cartoon character. Like they spin their feet before they start running.
He actually is. That's a good reference.
He runs really hard, and it's like short, quick, choppy steps. I love watching him run.
He like does about 10 steps in the space of like 3 seconds, and then he's off. KJ got his first pick. That was cool to see.
He can play ball.
He can play. He's been out there a lot for. Is he 19 years old?
He's a true freshman. I don't know how old he is, but true freshman out there making plays like that is crazy. I really like KJ too.
I like that backfield with KJ, Dan, and Malachi. Dan has been having
himself a season.
Crazy.
We're sitting there on the sideline, and we've already went over our adjustments or whatever, like what we saw, what we're gonna change, and we're looking over the big screen, and Dan's just flying down.
It's straight
like
lines.
20 yards, just doesn't flinch, just flying down.
Yeah.
Dan's been having himself a good year.
No, as a touch wood, hopefully he stays healthy. That's his thing. Like, he's kind of been unlucky in the past. I feel like he's always been doing this. He just had a shitty run with injuries. So
yeah.
I think, if he stays healthy, it's going to be fun to watch.
I have a lot of respect for Dan. Just his story and how he's gotten here.
Well, the Dog fans would have noticed yesterday, no moon boot for you walking around.
Yeah, they noticed that. No moon boot.
Yeah.
I hate that boot. Those boots are awful.
Did you do as you were told, or did you take it off a bit too early?
No, once I started getting more comfortable on it.
Yeah.
Like I'd get home, I'd walk around on it.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be like serious. Like it'd kind of be like more of like a limp around, just because like it's all mental. Like I swear it's mental. Like they tell me to put they were like, you can start putting weight on it now.
Oh yeah.
And like the day before, I remember like I did something, I like put weight on it. It was like, and I felt like I couldn't do it. And then the next day they're like, all right, you're good to put some weight on it, and it was fine.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, there's no way I can walk in a shoe. Like this boot's bothered me, whatever. Yeah. And then they're like, all right, we're gonna transition you to the shoe. And as soon as they tell me that, it's like it's fine.
Yeah.
I think like it's all like a mental thing. It's weird because like you wouldn't think.
It definitely is. Especially when you get comfortable, like you would have been in the boot, so the boot would be a safety net for you. That's what I. So as soon as it comes off, you're like, oh wait, where's my like security blanket? So it'll be the same. You'll have like the brace, and then the brace will come off, and you'll.
I told the trainers my security blanket was like the compression sleeve. Like they had that, like those tan sleeves. Yeah. They made me wear one on my ankle just to help with swelling or whatnot. Yeah. But they were like, you can take that off now. Like you're good to take it off. I was like, no, I can't.
This makes me feel like I'm safe.
Like I took it off and like put a normal sock on. I was like, no, like give me that thing back. But they finally just took it away from me. They're like, you really don't need this anymore. Blind draft me.
All right, blind draft.
The Bulldog blind draft. Hit me with it. Is it a good one?
I hope so. I don't know. I think it's.
You got a lot to live up to from your first one. Your first one was really good.
This one's actually a thing, but it's a hypothetical. So we obviously play at Austin this week. Just looked it up, about a 14.5-hour drive. You've got to do the road trip with someone, but I am compiling this into a whole weekend. So you've got a 15-hour drive there. You then have the F1, the Georgia game, downtown. You're going on a 3-4 day bender. Perfect. And then you've got to do 15 hours with the same person back to Georgia.
But let's hear it.
So I'm going to go random order here. I have the names, but I don't know the order. So off the rip, John Daly.
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm going to save my one spot. He's going at 2.
Okay.
I feel like me and John Daly could have a good time.
Yeah, that'd be a big weekend.
It'd be a hell of a weekend.
Even though,
would I be able to breathe when I was done? No.
Imagine 30 hours in a car with infinite esky.
See, the thing about the car ride is how many cigarettes he smokes.
Windows down.
Yeah, good point. My hair doesn't do good with the windows down.
All right. Number 2, Rob Gronkowski.
Oh, one.
Straight to
Rob
number
can
one.
throw down. He can throw down. I love Gronk.
Okay, number 3, Coach Smart.
I'm putting Coach Smart at 3. I think Coach Smart can have a good time.
Okay,
I have a feeling Coach
good.
Smart can have a good time.
Yeah, this is a hypothetical. He doesn't have to coach. I wouldn't want to be in that car if he did have to coach.
Can we not talk about football?
Yeah, no football.
Yeah, 3.
No football talk. I feel like he'd love that, though, if he could just switch off. And
Oh, 100%.
yeah.
How many 4-day breaks do you think he's gotten? He gets like straight 4 days, nothing to do with Georgia football.
Yeah, there will always, like, even when he's technically
Yeah,
outside
I feel
of the
like not
building.
many.
I'd hate to see his phone, like,
Oh my lord.
the stuff that would just come up. All right. Will Ferrell impersonating or acting as Ricky Bobby the whole time?
5.
Wouldn't want that.
Shake and bake.
I was going to do that or Anchorman.
Shake and
Ron
bake,
Burgundy.
baby.
If he was Ron Burgundy
I
the
think
whole
that'd
time.
be 6.
And last, Donald Trump.
It's a good 4. I like that 4.
Okay. The Gronk going.
I
number one.
feel like with that money we could do. I think we could skip the car ride.
The car
Take
ride
this
is part of
massive private jet.
it's character building. All right. I think you did well. You happy with your list?
I think I'm happy with my list.
Okay.
2
Good.
One Gronk. Yeah, Gronk can throw down.
Yep.
John Daly
Yeah.
2. The only thing I'm concerned with is the cigarettes on the way. That's what I meant by will I be able to breathe after the trip. Imagine going on a 4-day bender and having just smell cigarettes for that whole car ride.
You just have
On
to
the way
drown it
back.
in beers.
On the way back, you're driving.
Yeah, it's severely hungover.
That would be awful.
All right. Now, in the trenches, anything bad this week?
Just not being able to play. I hate it. Not being able to play sucks.
From an outside point of view, I feel like you've been really good. Like, we all know you can get pretty moody sometimes. down in the dumps. I feel like you've handled it
There
very
have
well.
been
As
some days
frustrating
that
as-
like this frustrates me a lot.
yeah,
Like especially just like the whole not playing thing, or like
yeah.
a day of rehab doesn't go how I wanted it to go. Like
Yeah.
that'll frustrate me. But that's really all it is, just frustration.
Yep, fair enough. Well, what would I say? Anything bad? But I got up early and drove my friend to the airport. So, just more the fact of just going to Atlanta on a Sunday morning at 6:30 a.m. in the morning.
Horrible. That's horrible. Driving through Atlanta sucks.
It's
I
just,
hate that place.
I tried going the other way. You know how you can kind of go one way and guarantee an hour and a half, or you could go through the middle of Atlanta and get hour 15.
You took the middle of the Atlanta route?
I did because I kept trying to change it. I changed it 3 times, and after the 3rd time, it changed back. Like as you know how you're driving, and it'll be like it just automatically changes, and you see the clock go down. I was like, "Fuck, whatever." All right, another exciting segment of Mullet Mailbag. If you have any other questions yourself, then send it in via Instagram or
Via.
how do you say it?
Via.
Okay, to @MulletsOnTheMic podcast, and hopefully we'll address it in the coming weeks. So, first one for this week, thanks to M. Sherlock via the YouTube comments. Can drop them down there as well. Straight off the rip, does Tate wear a mustache and that thing under his lower lip because he can't grow a beard, or does he just like looking like a 70s porn star?
That's a great question. I actually have never attempted to grow out a beard. Like, I know my dad's always said, like, he's tried to grow, he's grown one out before, and, like, the way his, like, facial hair grew, he said it just got extremely itchy, so he hated it. And I'm assuming, since we look alike, and, like, I got everything from his side of the family, genetics-wise, I just felt like I was going to get that gene. And I don't want an itchy beard, so I've never tried. But
that is the worst
I
part,
also
especially
do-
with the chin straps we wear every day.
Yeah, I also do feel like it'd be a little patchy in here.
Have you ever thought about dropping the handlebar?
Oh,
Getting
yeah,
it
I
all
thought
the way
about
down?
Yeah, I have. I've just never done it.
Yeah.
But I think I might end up trying that. But
I feel like if you're going to be like party in the back, you can't have it front and back long.
You're right.
Yeah. You gotta,
but I don't like him saying that thing on my upper lip.
what do we call that? What is it? Is he referencing the mustache or is he referencing below the...
Oh, under my lower rib, that thing, my soul patch.
Yeah, under his lower lip.
I can't say on mic what I refer to it as. Use your imagination. If you know me, I probably have said it around you. You probably just can't remember. But I've referred to it as two things.
Yeah.
Or three things.
I guess.
But I'm not gonna bring those up.
Yeah.
Brett, next question's for you. Sorry if I'm saying this wrong, but it's from Miriam Corbin via there you go, the YouTube comment section, and it's, Brett, are you hoping to play in the NFL after college?
Yeah, in a perfect world. Obviously, that'd be the dream. That's the goal. Right now, just taking it week by week. So if the NFL wants to keep me in the country, that would be ideal. Sponsor a visa. Let me stay around for a little longer. But, yeah, no, obviously there's very few spots for punters in the league, like one per team. So try and do everything I can right now to help myself get there. All right, now for the last question. Thanks again to Junkyard Eugene via the Instagram DMs, a repeat questionnaire. He wants to know, Tate, what is the largest largemouth bass you have ever caught?
6.5. I'm not a huge fisherman. I'm too fat for that. Usually when you're fishing, it's hot outside, so I'm usually not a huge fisherman.
Yeah.
But I'll go. And I used to a lot when I was younger. But 6.5.
Okay. Not bad.
Then
centimeters, inches, feet.
I don't remember measurements, just weight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Kilos, pounds.
Pounds. 6.5 pounds.
Good work, kid.
Have you ever caught a largemouth bass?
Nope.
We'll have to change that one day.
Yeah, if you act like you know me outside of the podcast filming, just get too cool for me.
Okay, but me coming and sit over there with y'all during the game.
Yeah.
Is not me. Is me acting like I don't know you.
We were on the TV together actually that Kentucky game.
Oh, really?
Like when they put you up to show you were injured.
Oh, yeah.
I was there talking to you, checking on my friend.
Thank you for that. Probably needed it.
Needed it.
This week, big game obviously in Austin, Texas.
That'll be cool.
The Longhorns.
Yes. They're playing some good football. I'm sure it's going to be loud. You got the F1s there as well.
Big weekend in Austin.
Big weekend. I don't know.
What's bigger, our game or the F1?
Depends on who you ask.
Yeah,
if you ask anyone in America.
Yeah. Anyway, most people in America are going to the football game.
If you're in the South, then yeah.
But yeah, big game obviously. I'm looking forward to going down there. I've never been to the University of Texas.
Yeah, no, obviously that's the cool thing about the new teams. We get to see some stadiums that we never were meant to see.
For sure.
If we stayed the same. So
they have a pretty cool. I think it's like, I don't remember which one of their end zones is, but like in the stands they have like an outline of the Longhorns.
Yes,
it looks pretty cool.
It looks sick.
Yeah,
they've done it well because it was recently renovated.
I think so. Yeah, and then Bevo, isn't that his name? The Longhorn?
Yes, it is. Yeah, because didn't last time you guys played him, didn't he almost kill the dog?
He went after Uga.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bad blood between those two.
Yeah, bad blood between mascots.
They should let him scrap in the middle of the field.
I don't think that would turn out good for Uga.
Yeah. I mean, cows can get moving, I was going to say. Uga's not.
Those ginormous horns.
Yeah, Uga's not built for speed.
Uga's just kind of defenseless in that situation.
Uga got the cute gene, not the speed gene. He's like me, yeah. Me if I were a dog.
That matchup would be like me and you in a board drill.
They're obviously ranked number 1 right now, so it'll be a good test. They crazy schedule. I guess that's SEC football. Yeah. You feel like you just jump from.
Yeah. And you're finding out recently that you can literally any weekend you don't come prepared.
Any weekend, some crazy results and like close games everywhere.
Yeah. The margin for errors seem to go down a lot this year.
Yeah. This is like going forward. It's exciting, I think, for college football. Even Penn State, did they lose to USC yesterday? No, they won in the end. Okay. It was Oregon, Ohio State.
Yeah, that was a good game.
Awesome game.
Dan Lanning pulled a nice little trick at the end.
Was that? Yeah, he put 12 out there to take.
I think he put 12 on the field to double that freshman wide receiver to eliminate a big play. And it's only a 5-yard penalty. It was already 3rd and 20. So it was moved up 3rd and 15.
Yeah.
4 seconds off the clock.
Because they only needed a field goal, but they were out of field goal range. So they just couldn't let it get to field goal range. So they doubled that
freshman wide receiver. I don't remember his name. Jeremiah Smith or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's his name.
Yeah. That's smart. I don't know what the ruling, technically.
5-yard penalty.
5-yard penalty. And you lose, how do you lose the time off the clock? Do you think they'll change that
if you're
to
on
where?
offense, I think. The 4 seconds was just from the play.
Okay.
They won't take away from it.
No, but that's what I mean. Do you think they, if it's a replay, because isn't it replay first down? Or
if you decline it, it's however much you gain on. If we get a first down, but we get if we have a 25-yard play.
Yeah.
But there's a pass interference, we're going to decline it so we can get the yards.
Yeah.
It's not like the NFL where it's from wherever the flag's thrown.
Yeah, wherever the flag is thrown.
Yeah, so.
Because, I would have thought they'd be oh, no, that play's disqualified, leave the 10 seconds on and replay it. But they actually lose the 6 seconds because there was a play run.
They lost 4 seconds because there was a play ran.
Yeah.
So, smart play by Lanning.
Yeah. Well, that'll be it for another episode of Mullets on the Mic. So, thanks again for tuning in. Be sure to follow, and subscribe at Mullets on the Mic podcast, and jump on wherever you listen to your podcasts. So, cheers.
Go
Dawgs.
Fuck!